All right, let me tell you. Let's get into it. When I first started using this, and Willie told me it was a better design, and I don't never try to second guess anybody, because you know how when you put something out, you may think it's the greatest thing on earth, and some other people may think it's not. So when I used this, I thought to myself, wow, this is different. And although it may look the same, it is different. Immediately, when I first used the tool, it was hard to flip. That I noticed right off the back. Why? Because that pad is stiff. It reminds me of the high flyer when I first got it. It was hard for me to flick it on a pole until I got used to it, until I actually broke the tool in. This is why I say the high flyer works better when the nibble starts to wear down or it's completely gone, because it engages so fluently. But it's just muscle memory. You have to know, by realizing that, you have to know that it's going to flop back down. But see, you get used to that, right? So the pad being stiff, I said, well, maybe I have to break it in because it's just new. So I had trouble flipping it a few times, and then I turned it upside down. Still couldn't get it to flip to the mop mode, right? Like that. So as the pad started to get saturated, bam, there it was. Right on point. This pad right here, man. Willie, man. You see, the people say Wagtail don't listen, and the pad needs to be stiffer. The pad doesn't hold enough water. Well, Willie probably moves at a snail pace when it comes to listening to people, but it doesn't mean that his mind isn't going and his mind isn't thinking. See, there's a reason why people do certain things, because Willie's whole idea is to keep this tool as light as what people are accustomed to. You start adding weight, start adding all this padding. Now the tool is twice as heavy. You feel me? This pad hasn't really changed that I've noticed far as weight is concerned, but this pad, I gotta tell you, holds a lot of water. And that's good, man. This pad is stiff. I don't know what Willie did to make this pad stiff like this, but it is stiff. So let me just tell you why that's good. Because not only does it hold more water, I would say about twice as much water, maybe 3 times as much water this holds. I almost got to remind myself not to be saturating it this much. But in addition to that, look, it closes out. You know how sometimes it'll get bunched up? So the old flipper, sometimes when you're closing off on the side or down the bottom, the pad will bunch up, right? The only way to avoid that is when you're closing off to the side, you gotta put this end of the squeegee, right? Pay attention now, because I'm about to preach knowledge on y'all. So how to avoid that is when you're coming, you gotta swing this end to the corner and then swing upward. You know how there's something in the way and your handle's going to hit something unless you swing upward? You have to do that on some houses, right? So when you swing upward, it's like, all right, let me just show you an example. All right, so here's the window, right? Here's the corner of the window. So when you swing it, you got to swing up like that and then close off. That keeps the pad from bunching up. I don't have to do that with this. All right? Now let's take a look at why it closes off good. Now, I haven't gotten the other flipper to compare, because I don't know if Willie changed the angle of that neck slightly as to why it closes off. But as I was looking at it, if you look here, the profile of this new clip system is fantastic because the reason why it closes off better when that pad's in the way is because look how Willie's changed the clip system on there. It's a complete like L shape, right? So you have a little triangle type thing going on here from here to here, right? So this is why this scrubs a lot better. It glides a lot better. It doesn't bunch up. It gets the corners better and it closes off better on deeper ledges. Now I'm about to even get even more detailed descriptive on you. The reason why this glides so much better, because if you look here, the way the profile of that triangle, that V shape in here, it's like a V shape. So when you have it on the glass, it is like the perfect angle. It rides right on the very sharpest part of the rubber. I don't think most people would ever notice what I'm telling you all right about now. And if you do, then that means you're just as good as me at observing Wagtail in general. All right, only a Wagtail person would know these things and be able to explain these things, right? So in addition to that, you have a fantastic rubber. But check this out, it doesn't end there. This pad wants to stay on the glass. I thought that would be a problem with closing out, right? But the pad is stiff, right? So closing out doesn't become an issue. But check this out. This is like a one pass. I kid you not. Now, Willie tried to do this same concept, but I found that it just wasn't that great. But this, however, does what Willie was saying before when the earlier version flipper came out, right? I thought that maybe it was me because I understood what Willie was talking about, but it just didn't work out like the other tools that he has made. But this, however, let me just show you something. All right, here we go. Check this out. You see that? You can go right into squeegeeing without agitating the window. So you can use this as a one pass, right? Now, this gets the corners better. Now, I don't know if this is a Stacconi channel, but if you look here, that channel is curved, it seems to me, more than the orbital channel and some other channels, like the high flyer channel. All right? So it gives you a different clean when you're cleaning, while you're cleaning. All right? Although this looks the same, I had to get used to the tool, but it didn't take me long. If you're a Wagtail user, it won't take you long. So here's what you got to do. Unlike the normal, you see how the rubber, see, if you had the other flipper, you would be able to squeegee the window at this point. But not with this. This is why you have to hold it more upward. You see, at this point, you'd be able to squeegee with the other one. But this one, because remember I told you it wants to stay to the glass more, you have to hold your hand upwards. At this point right here, where you have, not right here, but up here, is the sharpest point of that rubber. So it'll ride on the glass better, right? But in addition to that, this has constant glide, which makes it smooth. It's swiveling. I gotta tell you, if anyone has used a power pivot, it's like the power steering of Wagtail, right? It is so smooth and fluent. This, however, I don't know what it is, man. But for an orbital disc, this is more smooth and swivels fluent more than the other disc. And I think it's because it's the design of the clip system in addition to the pad being stiff and wanting to stay against the glass while you're swiveling, right? This is giving you optimal glide all the way down. Now, closing out could be a little bit of a learning curve because this is the same concept, but everything about it is different. The way it holds water, the way it moves, the way it gets behind the door handles, the way it closes off, the way it gets the edges. It's just amazing, right? So I am actually looking for a Wagtail user who has a YouTube channel. And I'm going to bless you with a late design flipper. And all you have to do is comment below this video. Tell me what's your favorite Wagtail tool and why and how it's changed your life. And I will give this to you, but you have to put in a review and you have to give honest feedback about this tool. I can't just give it to anybody. I thought about it, but here's the reason why I won't do that. It's because someone that's never ever put a Wagtail in their hand won't appreciate this new design, first off. Second off, it will most likely collect dust and sit in their closet because they just don't understand Wagtail, and some people won't have the patience to learn properly. But a professional, a real professional, wouldn't give up and would grasp the concept in a matter of weeks or less than a week. Because I know as heck I sure did. A real pro will be able to adapt to his surroundings, and no matter what tool he uses, he'll be able to make it work. That's a real pro. And you see, there's no tool that I can't put in my hands that I won't be able to use. These so-called pros put Mormon in their hand, put Wagtail in their hands, and can't clean windows worth a lick. You feel me? Once a pro is always a pro. It's not the tool most of the time, it's your ass. Because maybe you aren't as good as you think you are. I mean, I could go on and on and on. People all praise themselves, oh, I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, okay, well, how come you can't use a Wagtail properly? How come you can't use a Mormon properly? I'm telling you, man, the tool is only as good as the user. But comment below if you have a YouTube channel and you like Wagtail. I'm not going to give it to somebody that, like I said, because they need to know the previous model of a flipper and a Wagtail to really appreciate what Willie has created here. A lot of thought went into this. And as I was looking at it and dissecting it, I see what Willie has done. And this is 100% better. 100% better, man. Cheers, Willie. Cheers, man. This is outstanding, man. I think that I am going to like this maybe a little bit more than the High Flyer. I say that all the time. Every time I get something new of Wagtails in my hand, I say this is my new best friend, but they all my best friend, but then I go right back to the High Flyer again, right? Sometimes I just can't get away. It's just something about not that stuff flopping around. You see, the High Flyer is self-contained, all right? Dual pivot action. There's nothing on earth like it, right? So this, although it's hanging, that's the problem. With the High Flyer, nothing hangs. You feel me? There's nothing to get in the way. There's nothing to bunch up. You feel me? There's nothing flopping around. It's self-contained. All right, but yeah, man, comment below. And you must be U.S. based, and I'm going to bless you with it. I'll send it out to you, man. Just got to make a review about it, and you'll be the first person other than myself to actually make a review on this, because no one has a review on this late model and has explained it like I just explained it to y'all. But anyone that has half a brain and that has used Wagtail before will understand. Macafracka.